In just one night, my life shattered. It started with a phone call, a hushed conversation I couldn't quite hear. Then came the sirens. Before I knew it, I was in handcuffs, my wife sobbing in the doorway, a bruise blooming on her cheek, a bruise I never gave her. That was the beginning of the end. My name, once respected, became a curse. The headline screamed, "Monster." Friends I'd known for years crossed the street to avoid me. My own family looked at me with doubt in their eyes. I lost my job, my home, everything I had worked my entire life to build. I was a ghost, haunting the ruins of a life that was no longer mine. The world had already judged and sentenced me, long before I ever stepped foot in a courtroom. The days turned into weeks, then months. Each morning, I'd wake up to a fresh wave of online hatred. My face was plastered everywhere, next to captions that painted me as a violent abuser. Her story was perfect. She was the terrified victim, and I was the cruel villain hiding behind a quiet demeanor. She gave tearful interviews, her voice trembling as she recounted fabricated tales of my supposed rage. The public ate it up. They praised her bravery, sent her money, and flooded my inbox with threats. I was isolated, drowning in a sea of lies. My lawyer told me to prepare for the worst. With her word against mine, in a world that was ready to believe the worst about any man, my chances were slim to none. Hope was a luxury I couldn't afford. The day of the trial arrived. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, cameras, and the judgmental eyes of the public were all fixed on me. My wife sat opposite me, looking fragile and scared. She was a master performer. As she took the stand, her testimony was flawless. Every detail was crafted to twist my every action into something sinister. A late night at work was me avoiding her. A quiet evening was me giving her the silent treatment. She painted a picture of a man who was a ticking time bomb, and the entire room was captivated. My lawyer's cross-examination barely made a dent. Her story was a fortress, and every question bounced off its walls. I watched my life slipping away, sentence by sentence. I was a dead man walking. Then my lawyer made a move no one expected. He announced we had one final piece of evidence to present. The prosecutor objected, but the judge allowed it. A large screen was set up in the middle of the courtroom. My heart pounded in my chest. What could it be? I had no idea what he was planning. My wife looked confused, then a flicker of annoyance crossed her face. The lights dimmed, and the screen flickered to life. The room fell silent. It was our living room. I saw myself on the couch, reading a book. Then my wife walked in. She was talking on the phone, her back to the camera. The audio was crystal clear. She was laughing. "No, he hasn't touched me," she said into the phone. "I just need a way out, a really good way out. The kind that leaves him with nothing." She paused, listening to the person on the other end. "Yeah, it's easy. A little bit of makeup, a few tears. People always believe the woman. He's so quiet, no one will ever believe him over me. By the time this is over, I'll have the house, the savings, and all the sympathy in the world. He won't know what hit him." Then she turned, a small, triumphant smile on her face. She walked over to the mirror, pulled out a makeup palette, and began dabbing purples and blues onto her own cheekbone. The video continued, showing her carefully creating the very bruise she claimed I had given her. The courtroom was in absolute shock. You could have heard a pin drop. Gasps rippled through the gallery as the video played on. It showed her rehearsing her story, practicing her sobs, even coaching herself on how to sound more convincing. The camera captured every moment of her cold, calculated deception. When the video finally ended and the lights came back on, every eye in the room was on her. The fragile victim was gone. In her place sat a woman whose face was pale with rage and panic. The mask had been ripped away, and the monster she had tried to create was staring back at her from her own reflection. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of the prosecutor slowly sitting down, his case utterly destroyed. My lawyer let the silence hang in the air for a moment before he spoke. "The evidence speaks for itself, Your Honor." The judge, his face like stone, looked from the screen to my wife. The trial was over. Not only were all charges against me dropped, but the judge immediately ordered an investigation into my wife for perjury and filing a false report. Her downfall was as swift and brutal as the one she had engineered for me. The media that had vilified me now turned on her with a vengeance. Her face was the one on the news, but this time the captions read "liar" and "fraud." Her empire of lies, built on a foundation of deceit, had crumbled to dust in a matter of minutes. I walked out of the courtroom a free man, but the questions lingered. Who recorded the video? How did my lawyer get it? Later that day, he told me the video hadn't come from a hidden security camera I had forgotten about. It was sent to him anonymously a week before the trial. The sender had left only one clue, a single line of text. It was a quote from a book my wife and I both knew, a book given to her by her younger sister. My wife had always confided in her sister, trusting her with every secret, including her plan to destroy me. But her sister had a conscience. She couldn't stand by and watch an innocent man's life be ruined. So, on the day my wife was putting her plan into action, her sister had turned on her phone's video camera and left it recording on the bookshelf. The one person my wife trusted more than anyone in the world had been the one to expose her. The truth had found a way, not through some grand legal strategy, but through a simple act of quiet courage. My life was in ruins, but for the first time in months, I could finally start to rebuild. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more.